Welcome back to Behind the Bower on what is a little bit of a chilly morning. I'm Susan Martin, the Executive Director with Bower Center for the Arts. And also joining me once again this morning is our Program Coordinator, Lauren Hood.
Good morning.
Morning. If it's okay, I would like to also just make a quick plug that if there are any organizations or businesses out there that support Bower Center for the Arts and would like to sponsor our weekly podcast, this is where we'd mention your name here. So reach out to us at the Bower Center if that's something that might be interesting to you, to help us to support our opportunities to offer inspiring conversations, a fresh look at the arts in our community, provide spotlights on artists, performers, collaborative partners, and organizations. Our goal with our podcast is to celebrate the universal expression of human experience through arts, culture, and our community. Last week, we kicked off our performing arts season, which we kicked off with a bang. Our guests on the show were Ghosts of Liberty, and they performed last Saturday night at Bower Center for the Arts. And Lauren, would you agree they were amazing?
Oh, yeah, they were phenomenal.
They were so good. If you miss them, please check out their music on all your digital music streaming services because you really, really missed a wonderful show. And we're hoping to bring them back again in the future because we just really enjoyed them and their music was really great. In keeping with the performing arts theme, today we're going to talk about how you, our listeners, can become the performer while enjoying a fun evening with your friends and solving a murder mystery. So joining us this morning is our special guest, Sabrina East from Jump Into Mystery. Good morning, Sabrina.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. Bower Center's really excited. We're actually hosting our third annual murder mystery event, and this year's theme is Murder at the Gin Joint on Saturday, February 17th. And tickets are on sale at bowercenter.org right now. It's $45 for an individual and $80 for a couple. Everything for the evening is included in your ticket price. Participating in the murder mystery will have catered food, beverages, alcoholic, non-alcoholic. And then we also always like to do fun raffles during the evening for some great prizes that'll be themed to the event. So let's talk about how you got involved with Jump Into Mystery. Sabrina, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh, well, so yes, I started Jump Into Mystery. I started the business back in 2018. And I had always had a passion for acting and the arts and theater, dating all the way back to, elementary school and being in the drama club in high school and working in the theater department. And so I decided to turn that passion into a full-time business. And I actually left a 20-year career in social work
Oh, wow.
to pursue the business full time. So yeah, that was kind of the inspiration behind it, how I got started in 2018. It's hard to believe that it has been that long.
I think that we actually met not shortly after you had started Jump Into Mystery, as I recall, maybe at like a networking event, something, Chamber of Commerce related. But I do recall that it was back in like 2019 and 2020 there, right before the start of COVID, that we kind of connected and were looking to kind of do a collaborative effort back then.
Yeah, absolutely. So in 2018, I think I was still working full time as a social worker. I didn't actually leave that piece of the career until 2020. I actually left my 20-year career 17 days before COVID
Oh my
started.
goodness.
Unknowingly, obviously, I had decided, I set a goal for myself in 2018 when I started the business that, I was going to be full time in the business within 2 years. And at the 2-year mark, I had left my full time job. I had a year's worth of events and ideas planned, and then COVID hit. So that was very unfortunate.
Yes, I would say it was. So tell us a little bit about, kind of how you got started and how you introduced and or planned these events or the murder mysteries.
So, well, Basically, we started out just offering local restaurants, wineries, breweries the experience. That's how we originally got started. We started out partnering with all the local businesses in Roanoke as well as Lynchburg, everything in between Bedford, Smith Mountain Lake, New River Valley, and offering them public games so that we could get new and familiar faces into their business for fun experiences and memories while they were, also increasing their food alcohol sales. And so
Uh-huh.
that's how we originally started. And since that time, we have expanded to offer fundraisers for groups like the Bauer Arts. We've also expanded to offer team building. We have started offering them in, nursing home settings, retirement communities, and even developed some for younger folks. So,
Yes, yes. That's something we're still very interested in doing is something for youth. Every time we host one and we talk about doing it and we need to do that, we get some of the adults that say, "My kids would love this. Could you consider doing something?" And we'll get some that'll call us and ask if they can bring their kids to this one, but we kind of keep it at a 21 and older event since it's an evening event and we're serving alcohol, but we would love to develop something for youth.
yeah, we would love to do something maybe over the summer
Mhm.
when, families are looking for fun stuff to get their kids involved in while school is out in the summertime. We would love to do that. We have worked with a few of the local libraries to do events for them for teens and tweens. So we could definitely, offer something. We can do non-murder mysteries. So
Right.
that's kind of the fun of it. We'll spin it we'll spin it and offer something that is obviously non-murder. We even did an event for Macaroni Kids
Oh, cool.
where it was much younger kids, and we offered it was Who Stole the Easter Bunny's candy.
Uh-huh.
Um, it was over the holiday, and I think the kids had a lot of fun with that. But we can create mysteries that don't have anything to do with murder because we do develop all of our stuff in house. So
Right.
all of our murder mysteries and non-murder mysteries are all written by us so we can develop them for all ages.
Right, right. I know the first year we hosted the Bauer Center's murder mystery was an art heist slash murder mystery theme, which was a lot of fun because we, at that time, were tying it into one of our exhibits that was taking place at the moment. So, in going back to that, how do you develop your stories and or your themes?
Well, basically just during bursts of creativity. I mean, we we kind of look at what events we have coming up over the next 6 months, and we'll start to just brainstorm and come up with all different ideas of things that we think would be exciting and trending, and things that people would get excited about in the community. So,
Hmm.
our newest one that we're working on right now, we have in the works is a wizarding theme.
Oh, that will be popular.
So that is one that we've had a lot of people ask for over the years. I think that our number one ask is always the Roaring Twenties,
Uh huh.
the Prohibition speakeasy
Right.
style, which is what we are bringing to you guys.
Yes.
And folks get so excited about that theme. So we're definitely really excited to be bringing that theme. It's fun. Everybody loves to dress up for the Roaring Twenties and get into character. So it will be a lot of fun for folks that like that era and the music and the
Yeah.
style.
Yeah.
So
We've been having a lot of fun. We have a events committee that works to help us with coming up with ideas, and we've just started talking about how we want to do the decor, but also we do the main food catered, and then my committee members and or board members do the desserts, and we like to try to do the desserts in line with the story or the theme of the event. So we've had a lot of fun talking about what what was actually popular back then. And interestingly enough, we were just recently talking that during the 20s was when red velvet cake
Oh, wow.
came about and became popular. So we had a long discussion yesterday about where did they get the food coloring and how was that prepared back then for the red velvet cake. So we thought that that was kind of funny. And then we also, because we're putting together kind of the themed We like to do gift baskets to have a raffle going on during the evening, and we've always put fun. Some of my committee members have found fun bottles of wine that either the labels have some kind of look to them that have a 20s theme to them, or we were researching candy that was popular or came out in the 20s too that we could put into those baskets. And so it's been a lot of fun just developing the little pieces to go along with it for the event.
Yeah, absolutely. That's part of the fun of it, the decorating and everything that goes kind of into the creation of it. So yeah,
Right.
I love a good roaring 20s theme.
Yes.
It's always a good time.
So tell a little bit about what it takes for you and your folks to actually have to write, for each individual person. What does that process look like, and how is that done for the participants?
So for the participants, the really cool thing is that they will get a character role that's developed for their personality. So we get a lot of times we'll have possibly a couple, a husband and wife that might come together, and one might say that they're super extroverted and want to be a major character, and then the other might say that they're very introverted and they're only being drug along because their spouse wants to attend, and they're nervous or they're scared, to really participate. And I've even had people ask me if they could just sit in the corner and play dead for
Right.
the 2 hours and be the victim. So the really cool thing that we have developed over the years that we've been doing this is we will reach out. So everyone that purchases a ticket, they provide an email when they purchase the ticket, and we hope that they give us a legitimate email
Yeah.
versus a throwaway email, which happens sometimes. But if they're listening to this podcast, the reason that we ask for that is because we reach out to them with some questions. We want to find out what type of role they're comfortable in, major, minor character roles, but we also want to know things, are they comfortable lying? We want to know whether they're comfortable playing a good guy, a bad guy.
Mhm.
So we then write the character roles accordingly. And, the funny thing is, most people give us quite a bit of information, even over and above what we
Right.
ask. So we'll ask a few questions and then people will still give us lots of information. We get people all the time that say they have acting experience or improv experience, or they don't want to participate at all, and in that extreme we can actually write them a character role that's teamed up with
Right.
somebody else so that they can play kind of a background part. We won't make them a suspect. We won't make them the center of attention. And we develop those character roles. So we basically start out with the storyline. We know what the storyline is going to be. We know the plot. And then as people purchase tickets, we are able to develop the character lines around them. And we usually have up to 25 main characters or suspects, and then everyone else. So, get your tickets soon, because that's the other thing. I've had people that come in at the very, very last minute and try to get in. And,
Hmm.
unfortunately, you're probably not going to get one of the major character roles, because once we have our 25 core
Hmm.
character roles developed, then, everything else then becomes background. So,
Right.
we have, but usually in any given event, I think our event last year with you guys was around 60 to
Hmm.
65 people. And
Yes.
usually we have 30 or 40 that say, this is my first time.
Hmm.
I just want a minor character role. I don't want anything too extravagant in the beginning. They want to get used to it. So the really cool thing about your events is we are now seeing more and more of the same people come
We
back year
are.
after
Yes.
year, which is exciting.
Yes. Yeah. We get a lot of folks that are repeat. And it's funny because, like you said, the wife will drag the husband or even vice versa. And the ones that have now come a couple of times, or even that came last year, are calling me and saying, my husband wants to play a bigger role. He had such a good time last year. This kind of pulled him out of his shell. And then
Yeah.
I think it's really funny because over the last couple of years, the either the murderer or the individual that was murdered, it's part of a husband and wife, and the spouse doesn't want the other spouse to know in advance that they're the person that's going to get murdered or that they're the murderer. Obviously, they want them to have fun at the event too, but I know last year the individual that was the murderer, he and his wife came, and his wife is actually very much an extrovert, but and he's a little bit more quiet. Well, he was the murderer, and they showed up to check in, and she was mad because she liked the name of his character better, and she was asking if they could switch characters at the check-in, and we were like, no, because she didn't know that he was the murderer for the event. So it's really funny, though. It's been a lot of fun to watch the folks that have been coming and participating, and it's extremely fun as a background staff member, just watching the folks enjoy it, to watch those people that really get into character and they never come out of it the whole evening, and you're trying to figure out, are they still in character, or are they themselves when they're talking to you?
We have had some fun. We have had some fun characters over the years. I remember, I think it was the year before last with you guys, when one of the ladies decided that she wanted to give a speech, and so she climbed up on the chair
Yes.
and grabbed the microphone and started giving her speech. And I think that was actually one of the most comical.
Yes.
The whole room turned around and they were like, "Oh my goodness, what is going on?"
Yes. And that was totally, she was in character. It was not written into her, her character role, but she just got into it and was just like, I'm going to do this. This is the time. This is now. So tell us too, I think, when the individual, if they are the person that's murdered, during the event, they're not written out of their time's not over. How does that work?
Oh, no, no, they will still get to play. So we basically choose the victim and the killer ahead of time. They will be prepared should they be chosen. They will be prepared by us so they know exactly, what's going on and what the evening's going to look like, because it is a little different for both the victim and the killer. The victim will get to continue to play. They will just have to choose once they are murdered. So about halfway through the event, they will have to choose when they rise up from death if they are going to come back and play the second half of the game as a ghost or an angel. So if they're a ghost, they will get to wreak havoc on the game and everyone in it for the second half. Obviously, they've come back to haunt everyone, and they're not going to be a helpful character. But if they come back as an angel, they will get to help everyone to solve the murder. But they definitely get to keep playing for the second half of the game. And the killer, obviously the difference for them is that everyone else is there to solve who did it and why. They're looking for a motive and obviously trying to solve the murder. And our killer, they already know who did it and why they did it. So their whole entire game is basically throwing everyone off the trail. So their entire game is convincing everyone that someone else did it and pinning the murder on someone else.
Yeah. Have you, talking about that, have you ever had one where no one has solved the murder?
We have.
Really?
We have. It really depends on the criminal, how into it the criminal is and whether they are able to pin it on someone else. So we have had a few excellent criminals in our years doing this, and they were able to literally point the finger at one specific person.
That's crazy.
And convince everyone, create all kinds of proof that wasn't really there and convince everyone that someone else did it. So we've had that happen just a couple of times, but it really truly depends on the criminal and, how in character they are and how able to convince others that someone else did it.
Yes. Well, I would say that that's kind of fun, and for the right person, they would really put a lot into that to try to keep somebody from figuring out who they are.
We actually had one a few years ago that was really funny because they had everyone else convinced except for their spouse. And their spouse, their husband, truly, truly believed it was them. and their husband was the only one that got it. But the funny thing is, their husband, literally at the very last minute, they came up. The husband asked if he could pull his paper and change his answer, that he had decided it was someone else. And at the very last minute, she
Yeah.
had convinced him that it was
Oh
someone
my
else. And he
gosh.
marked her name out and
No
guessed
way.
someone else.
That's
And
funny.
he was so livid. He was so angry. He said he was never going to sleep with both eyes closed again. That she had lied to him for the last time.
Oh, well, I know as you mentioned, our event is it's open to about 60 participants. Over the last 2 years, it has been a sellout event for us. It is intended to be a fun event for the community, but it is a small fundraiser for Bauer Center for the Arts. So the funds that we raise above and beyond do go back into our programming. So we really appreciate anybody that might be interested in participating. I will say I didn't check it this morning, but we've had a few more registrations overnight, actually. So I know that we're over halfway to 60 at this point in time. So if anybody's interested in getting tickets, they may want to do so sooner rather than later. And as we're wrapping things up, Sabrina, is there anything else you'd like to share about Jump Into Mystery? What are some other events that you might have coming up before the Bauer Center event?
So we have a few Valentine events coming up. We have one coming up in Roanoke. It is at Twin Creeks Brew Pub. That is actually out on the Explore Park. They have two locations, one in Benton and one out on the Explore Park. So we will be out there for we have 3 Valentine murder mysteries. One is at Twin Creeks on February 10th. We have another one that is down in Bedford. It's at Goodview, in Goodview, Virginia, at Fables and Feathers Winery on the 9th. And then we have one up in Radford, Virginia, in the New River Valley area for folks that are up that way. And that one is on February the 14th. That's actually on Valentine's night. So that one will be at Long Way Brewing. It's a really cool brewery up in Radford. It was actually a church that they have renovated. So it's a really beautiful venue. If anybody is up in the New River Valley area and wants to come out for a Valentine murder mystery. And then we will be with you guys on Saturday, February 17th at 6:00 for Murder at the Gin Joint.
Yeah, we're really excited. Well, we really appreciate you joining us this morning. And I'm going to close things out and turn it over to Lauren for just a sec. Just give us a quick overview of what else is coming up at Bauer Center.
Yeah, so we've got a lot in February. I was trying to write everything down before I got here. Honestly, it shocked me, and I planned most of them about how much we had. But the very first thing that we have coming up on Saturday, February 3rd, is 8 Steps to 10 Times Your Creativity. It's a super cool workshop that we're offering with Whitney Brock, and it's from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. And registration is still open throughout the week, but spots are filling up quick, so make sure you sign up today. Then on this upcoming Sunday, February 4th, is the beginning of Basics of Painting, and registration is still open for that. It's a 4-week course hosted by Lori Stetson, one of our instructors and amazing studio artists, and that's the 4 Sundays in February from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Make sure you get signed up for that as well. We are also fortunate to be able to host the Bedford County Public School Winter Elementary Arts Show, and viewing for that is, the availability for viewing for that starts February 6th and goes through the Saturday, February 10th. So make sure you stop by the Bauer Center to check out the next generation of artists. And we are open Tuesdays through Saturdays from 11 to 3. Admission is always free, so make sure to come in during that time to check it out. Pottery Basics begins Tuesday, February 6th, and this is a 6-week class on Tuesday mornings from 9:30 a.m. to 12 p.m. You get hands-on experience with learning the basics of the wheel, hand throwing, and so much more. So make sure you get signed up for that. And Bauer is once again collaborating with Opera on the James. They have 2 performances on Saturday, February 10th. The first one at 12 p.m. is a free show for families with their rendition of the timeless tale of Little Red Riding Hood. And that is followed by their ticketed event titled Festival of Melodies at 3 p.m. If you have not seen Opera on the James performances before, this is your chance. They are phenomenal and always a good time.
I want to mention on that one too, the $10 admission for the Festival of Melodies performance, the matinee performance at 3:00. It is $10, but it is considered a donation, so it's not required. And if you check out our website when you're registering, there's a promo code that if you choose not to make the donation, you can come for free. But we hope that you'll support the arts by making that $10 donation. So that's all on our website. Just wanted to mention that.
Perfect. Yeah, absolutely. On Saturday, February 17th is, of course, the topic of our episode of today. That's our murder mystery night with Jump Into Mystery, the theme of Murder at the Gin Joint. It's from 6 to 9, and if you want more details on that, you should listen back to the episode. So we talk all about it, and make sure to check out our website, of course. Wednesday, February 21st is the start of our needle felting series with Belle Thomas, and she's starting off with teaching how to create your own felted card, and we're doing it every third Wednesday of the month through April right now, and she's creating different projects, and it's a step-by-step instruction. Belle Thomas is awesome, so make sure to check that out. And on the first weekend of March, we have Barefoot Modern. That's the next concert in our concert series. They are the Saturday, March 2nd from 7 to 9. They are an alt indie band from North Carolina. So make sure to check them out and get your tickets.
Yeah. And I was really interested. I checked them out earlier and listened to some of their music, and they kind of say that they're pop alt indie. They have originals that they've written, and they do covers. And I saw where they just did a performance, and they did an ode to like English bands so they play Beatles, Queen, Led Zeppelin. So I'm hoping they'll throw in a few of those during the evening, because that'll be a great performance. Well, I appreciate Lauren taking the opportunity to give us a big overview. As she mentioned, that's actually just a few of all of the activities and opportunities to get involved at Bauer Center for the Arts. So please visit bowercenter.org to stay up to date. Sign up for our weekly newsletter. And once again, we want to thank Sabrina for joining us today, and we hope everybody will come out for the Murder Mystery Evening, Murder at the Gin Joint. Thank you for joining us.